This week I have been inspired to have a declutter of my studio. I think it's been a lot of the reason why I'm not feeling very creative at the moment, is that it's just a mess. And I've been exposed to a business locally to me recently who are having a massive declutter and a big shift around, and the difference has been incredible. And then I saw a new YouTube channel, and I was watching this girl working from her home studio, and she had desk space, and it looked like ordered creative chaos. And I looked at where I work, and it looks like a storage unit, and I realised that the clutter and the way I work is not helping. I don't have a pattern cutting table, I don't have anywhere to lay out fabrics properly, but I could do better than what I have now. So I had a look at my original space, and I've started to have a bigger declutter. And so I'm going to take you along on that journey. You can see what I do. It's mostly about just rejigging the space, but I do have to have a really good clear out as well, so that will be coming another time, and then hopefully I'll end up with some more empty shelves rather than boxes full of stuff. some of this makes sense. Bookcases were there, they're there. That one is now, used to be on top of that, is now here. This machine I think will come over a little bit more because I need a bit more room. What I've made here isn't really a pattern cutting table, which was really what I wanted. It's just not wide enough, but I can do work on it. And standing desks, I am all up for a standing desk. Years of working in offices and my back won't do sitting down in chairs a lot. So standing desk, but also, and I can't find them now, I have a couple of swivel chairs which have the uplift, they're like bar stools. So I can sit and work. So I can put my overlocker here. And provided I can reach, I can overlock as well. It just gives me a bit more space because when the desk was here, it was shoved in the corner. It was on the edge of my sewing machine, and it was all precariously balanced. I mean, it's not ideal now. Nothing is perfect, but this is better than it was. Now, one of the other things that I've got that I want to move is this window has just turned into a shelving unit and I hate it. I want the light, I want the window, I want a few more plants on it just to create a better ambience. So these cotton reel things that I made last year sometime, I'm thinking of putting them on the side of this unit here because I can nail them up here. And in fact I could actually nail them to this wall. One of the problems that I have here is that this is a rented apartment, so there's only so much I can do. I can't put fixtures and fittings up. Yes, I am knocking the odd nail into the wall. I don't think they especially like it, but I've been here over 6 years and no one's ever said anything, and they've seen this because they come in and inspect every 6 months to a year. They should come in twice a year. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I've never had anyone say you can't do this, you can't do that. I think there's rules about don't put pictures on walls, all that rubbish. If you're living somewhere for years and years, why the hell shouldn't you be able to put a picture on a wall, honestly? Anyway, so I probably am going to knock a few nails into the wall. They're only the small panel pins and they're easy to filler in and paint over. As with a lot of rentals, everything's magnolia, so at least it's easy to fix. So I think I'm going to move that because that whole window is way too cluttered and I hate it. I want to get some of the things off that are hanging off the shelf. So I've got things here. I want to get this stuff off of here. I want that light to come in. Now I have decreased my space a little bit in terms of storage, but I felt like I was working in a cupboard. It was just so claustrophobic, and I think this is part of the problem I am having with my creativity at the moment, is that it's like coming into the cupboard under the stairs and trying to work, and I can't do it. So this week's inspiration, as I mentioned at the beginning, is helping. I feel like I have just open the space up a bit. This extra table will be useful. It's not a pattern cutting table, but I don't have a table anyway that's big enough for pattern cutting on. I'm still going to have to be working on the floor next door, but at least I can do small stuff now. I can do a bit of drafting. I can use the overlock without having to keep moving things around all the time, and I just think it's going to be a little bit more giving a bit of breathing space, a little bit more space to create a nicer environment, and hopefully that will help me to get creative again. I still have a long way to go. I suddenly got an urge at about 11 o'clock this morning to do this, and it's one of those things that has to be done in one day. So I'm going to get cracking and try and finish off at least to the point where I can see my front room again and at least everything is in here. I'm not going to get any more work done before I go away. So as long as everything's in the right places, at least I know what I'm doing. So I'll get back onto it. give you an overview of how it all really looks now. So, into the door. This side is as it was, a bit crazy, but we have a sewing machine, our less cluttered window, and if I move around, here's the shelves at the side, all full of stuff, and here is our new standing desk, and there's the bar stool in place. They're quite high, so I can sit and work, or I can stand and work. My cotton reels are installed. I have my pin board here, and here's my little desk. There's shelving down there. This black one is now on its side, but full of stuff. And what I now need to do when I get back from my couple of weeks away, I am going to start going through all of these storage pull-out drawers. They used to be in those freestanding plastic drawers, so you can see it. I have one there. That's the only one that survived the move. All the others, all the legs broke. So I kept all the plastic shelves, the pull-out drawers, and I just stack them on the shelves now. But I do need to have a good check through, because there is stuff in these that is just not worth keeping anymore. So at least it feels like a proper doable space now, and I have to say I really like this little desk. This makes me feel a little bit energised. Can't do anything about the rails unless I sell stuff. This is my vintage rail, which I have sold about £130 worth of stuff this year, but it's slow going. And there's still some bits and pieces on there. I've had a bit of a shift around on this side. These hanging storage things are now here. I don't like them being there. They may have to move somewhere else. In there, that recess is basically full of all the packaging that I've acquired. I've got suitcases that are full of other fabrics. The tall boy that I have here, the top half is my overspill larder because of my frugal living, and I stockpile cheap food when I see it. The bottom three drawers are full of spare fabrics, and again, I probably need to have a good go through and sort it. But this window is a little less cluttered than it was. All that middle section has now gone, so look, I can open the window now, and it just feels a little bit better. The table I've pulled further away from the wall, so it's easier to get, big. Like if I'm making something big, I can let it drop down the back. I've hoovered out everything. There was so much dust and so many dropped pins. I even found my seam ripper, which and I bought another one because it had disappeared, and I found it down the back of one of the cupboards. So it does feel better. It'll be nice to come back after my couple of weeks away and look at this and go, oh yeah, look at all that. New space to work with.